Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we've got a lot of topics to get into today, and we're going to start with that PlayStation showcase yesterday. And I'm not going to cover every single item that was announced. This was like a over 1 hour presentation, so if you want to check that out, they do have a lot of those titles broken out into individual videos on PlayStation's YouTube channel. So I'm just going to go through some of the highlights and bigger announcements here, and I'm going to start with what they called Project Q. Now this is that rumored handheld streaming device, and it would let you be able to play games from your PS5 and stream them over Wi-Fi. There was a disclaimer that this is subject to change, but right now it says it'll have an 8-inch HD screen, no mention of whether or not it's OLED. And it will have all of the features of the DualSense controller. And just to me, looking at this a little closer, it looks like the screen might be able to slip out of a controller holder. You can see how the analog sticks seem to overlap the bezel of the screen. And I don't think this is like a Joy-Con type design, because you can see on the back here, the white part seems to connect both sides of the controller. But this may just be a design choice. I can't think of why you'd want to slip it in and out unless maybe you're going to sell different color controllers to use with it. Or maybe they might have a tabletop mode like the Switch has. And right now there is no date or price for this unit. And I know that the code name is Project Q, so they don't have an official name for this. So I do have a suggestion. Perhaps call it the PlayStation U. And moving on to some of the game announcements, we have an official announcement of that Metal Gear Solid remake that we were thinking was coming. We have Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and this is going to be a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. And of course, there were a lot of jokes online about it being called Metal Gear Solid Triangle. I guess a lot of people didn't have enough math classes to know that's the Delta symbol. And Metal Gear Solid 3 was released in 2004 for the PlayStation 2, and it is a prequel to the entire Metal Gear Solid series. So that means that you should be able to just to pick this right up and start playing it and not have to worry about knowing the storyline from the previous two entries. And to go along with this remake, we have Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 Masters Collection, which will include Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, and 3. So you'll be able to play sort of, I guess, an HD version of that original game. And this is set to come out sometime this fall. Now, their website did kind of tease that there could be more titles coming to this. You can see this little graph here where they just say, stay tuned for more information. Now, since this collection is called Volume 1, I'm thinking that more games may be coming, but as part of maybe Volume 2. And if you are wondering if we will get a physical version of this collection, it looks like we will. This is a tweet here from Konami in the UK where someone asked, will there be a physical version? And they respond, there will be physical and download versions of the collection available. And I saw similar responses from other regions, so I don't think this is just a UK exclusive. We should see this here in the US as well. But moving on to some of the other announcements, Dragon's Dogma 2 was finally given an official reveal, and Dragon's Dogma is a single-player narrative-driven action RPG, and this is the first new entry in this series in over a decade, and we still don't have a release date or window for this yet. And then we get a new trailer for Alan Wake 2, and it's coming out on October 17th. We also had a CGI trailer for a new game called Fair Games with a $sign at the end, and this is from that newly acquired Haven Studios. And this is a competitive modern heist game and no release window yet. And we also have Concord, which is a game from the other newly acquired studio Firewalk, and this is a player versus player multiplayer game set in a science fiction universe. And this is scheduled to come out sometime in 2024. Then we also see an update for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and this is coming out on October 12th. Now, one new feature that they highlight is Assassin's Force, which lets you mark and assassinate several targets in a row. And another interesting announcement I saw here was Phantom Blade Zero, and we get the announced trailer here, and this is a hack and slash RPG set in the Phantom world. And I kind of like this samurai hack and slash look, so this will be something I'll keep an eye on, and it doesn't have a release date or window yet. And we had some other notable updated trailers you may want to check out. We had Final Fantasy 16, but no demo announced yet. And we also had a new trailer for Street Fighter 6, and this gave us more of a look at the story mode. And then finally we closed out with Spider-Man 2 with like over 12 minutes worth of gameplay, and we didn't get a release date for Spider-Man 2, but some of the things we learned about the game, it looks like you'll be switching between Peter and Miles, and I'm not sure if that's storyline related or if you'll be able to switch at some point just whenever you want. And it looks like some of the new movesets in the game come from the use of the Symbionite suit. And we also got a reveal of a new villain, Kraven the Hunter. And they released a separate trailer for this villain, and you can see it running in the background here. But that was most of the big announcements here. And one thing of note to add, Xbox did tweet out a list of some of these games that are coming to the Xbox as well. And you can see in the picture here some of the bigger titles listed: Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Dragon's Dogma 2, Ghost Runner 2, and of course Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. But no mention of that Metal Gear Solid collection, so I don't think it's coming to Xbox. But drop me a comment below if you find out otherwise. Also, let me know which of these announcements you're the most excited to see. Definitely Spider-Man 2 is looking really good, and I never really got into the Metal Gear Solid series. I played the original Metal Gear on the NES, so this might be a good chance for me to kind of jump in and check out this series. Next, Lord of the Rings Gollum comes out today, and the review embargo pretty much lifted today, which is never a good sign. But let's take a look here at the Metacritic rating. It's a 38. So absolutely abysmal rating here. And just for comparison, Balan Wonderworld, which got really critically panned, had a 44 for the PlayStation 4 version. So this seems to be worse than that. And if you look at the breakdown here of critic reviews, you can see there's no positive reviews. There's only 6 mixed and 15 negative. And most of what I read was that the game just needed more time to cook or was underdeveloped. And I do have to wonder at this point, will we see a Switch port of this? I believe one's planned, but with this type of review, and I'm imagining the sales are probably not going to be very good, will it really be worth their time to get a Switch version working? So this is quite a disappointment for me, at least. I was hoping we would get a decent game out of this, but some of the trailers weren't looking real great. And as we can see now from the reviews, this is a game that's probably going to be in the bargain bin come Black Friday for maybe $5 or $10. And then finally we have the latest Famitsu sales coming out of Japan. And let's take a look first at the software sales. We can see that Tears of the Kingdom is still in the #1 spot. And it's followed by 9 more Switch games. We have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Then we have Breath of the Wild at number 3, still kind of being lifted from those Tears of the Kingdom sales. And then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at number 4, Minecraft at 5, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe at 6, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 7, Splatoon 3 at 8, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection at 9, and then finally Nintendo Switch Sports coming in at number 10. So kind of a quiet week here with no new entries in the top 10. Now let's go look over at the hardware sales. We can see the Switch OLED model at number 1 and still kind of riding that high for Tears of the Kingdom coming out, followed by PlayStation 5, and then we have the Switch at 3 and the Switch Lite at 4, and then the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition coming in at number 5, and then again we have the PlayStation 4 outselling the Xbox Series X and S combined by I think more than a factor of 3. And let's take a look at the updated hardware graph. You can see pretty much everything's down. The Switch is down from the previous weeks after that Tears of the Kingdom OLED release, but still up quite a bit from before the release of that special edition. And I'll be interested to see in the next few weeks what the PlayStation 5 sales do after this PlayStation Showcase, if we might see it spike up a little bit with people anticipating some of the games announced there. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Only about 10% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so it would help the channel out quite a bit. I want to thank you for watching, and be good.